Joe, I cut you off. I grabbed your lips and sealed them shut when you tried telling me about Metal Gear Survive earlier.
That's
I'm
true.
so curious to
we
hear
checked
you.
it out?
Joe played it.
I played some Metal Gear
I want to
Survive
know what
today.
you think of it.
So, here... All right.
Getting comfortable.
Yeah. Well, so what's interesting about this is that I was like... I think as much as anyone was super skeptical about just like why this game even exists.
To the point where you could have hit a button and said, cancel this game.
Yeah.
If it was your call.
Yep.
Okay.
But I still can't answer that question. Like, I'm not totally sure who the audience is. Like, I don't know that like super hardcore Metal Gear fans are going to love it.
Yeah.
And as someone who's like, I'm not personally really invested in the like multiplayer horde mode, you know, like, or cooperative, like those kinds of like survival multiplayer experiences. So, but with all of that being said, it is built on the foundation of like Metal Gear Solid 5, not only graphically but like control wise. So we got in there and we played a match of like, I mean, what's effectively sort of like a defense mode where it's like you have a base.
Yep.
And you have a bunch of different tools. In between waves, you go up and you like set up barriers, and you can between.
So it's Gears of War.
Yeah. So in between missions, you can go do like side quests to go get like different bonuses. It's like, oh, I can go get ammo and bring it back to the group.
It's Fortnite.
Or I can go out there and get those. I forget what they're called. Those little mini mechs that you can get in MGS5.
Oh yeah.
You can like. We did a little side mission where it's like you go to a marker, you get those, like you and a buddy can go get those and bring them back. So then for the next wave, you're in these little like robots with machine guns and stuff. So
is there a timer? Like how much can you scavenge before the next wave starts?
I think so.
Okay.
Because it's not. I mean, it's not about scavenging. I think it's more about like you do the objective, or like side mission, or you don't. But then you spend what time you have sort of like refortifying
Prepping.
any defenses and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so like prepping.
Joe, I'm bracing for you saying that it's kind of cool.
Well, so here's the like, I had fun with it.
There we go.
I had fun with it, and it controls well.
Because it's Metal Gear Solid 5.
Because it's the Metal Gear Solid 5 controls.
Yeah.
So like to that point, I guess you could say I'm sold on it. You know,
How
and that
long
like
was your-
I would not hit the cancel button on this game right now. It's like no,
Your hand was slamming down, then you played it, and now it's hovering right above it.
Sweat drips down the nose.
Well, how long was your session?
What's that?
How long was your...
It was a 20-minute match. So it was like 20 minutes, 3 waves.
Did you get the suspicion that maybe there's not quite a long-term depth there? I mean, having fun in 20 minutes is different to having fun over 8 hours.
And exactly. And I cannot pretend to like project that experience out into the sort of like long term. I feel the same way about Skull and Bones at Ubisoft, you know, where it's like I played that for about 20 minutes and had a really good time with it, but it's like does it have legs? Does it have the progression to keep you like coming back?
Sea legs.
I tried so hard to get that into my preview of that.
Really?
Oh man.
I couldn't make it work. But anyway, so yeah, so like that I don't know. But E3, I mean, partially you can't predict how that's going to go. You're not going to know until you play those games for 8 hours. And like, so again, my optimism extends to the point of I played this game for 20 minutes.
Totally.
Had fun with it. I don't know everything about it, but I do know that I thought it was a multiplayer only game.
Yeah.
And it's not.
They said something like, I think the quote that I read was, it's going to be substantial single player. There's something confusing like that.
Yeah. So what they were not focusing on that today. But what they told us was something that hinted at a very traditional survival game kind of experience where it's like, okay, in the solo game, it's like it's you in this strange environment. You have like limited health, limited thirst and hunger or environment.
Really?
I don't remember all of the things, but it's like it made it sound almost a little. And there's like crafting and stuff. You build like you need to establish a home base is one of the things. So it's like
Weird.
so it has a sense of maybe it being a little like Don't Starvey or.
Did you
some
s-
hardcore
that?
survival?
Did you
Yeah.
see like a cutscene for this or
No,
anything?
no.
Okay.
It was just like a single. It was just like a single screen that said, these are features that will be in single player. Now, here's 20 minutes of multiplayer.
I was I was a tremendous Metal Gear Solid 5 fan. Like I fell madly in love with it.
Yeah.
And I was optimistic about this. Is there any sort of like? But one thing I loved about Metal Gear Solid was like there's like a meta progression to it that carries over. Like, is there beyond this wave stuff? Does it seem like there's like a lot of progression to it?
Again, like they didn't get us. We did not get a great sense for that.
Okay.
Were you in a group discussion where anybody, I don't think you would do this, but would anybody raise their hand and say, like, you know, is this carrying on Kojima's legacy? Was there any whiff of Kojima's lasting impact? Anybody saying, look, we're carrying forward his vision, or just not saying his name at all? Was there any shadow of Kojima here?
Apart from just references to, like, I mean, the answer is no.
It doesn't start the mission and say, not a Hideo Kojima game every single time.
I mean, the point that, like, they reference the past games, but, like, even, like, they would say, hey, this uses the Phantom Pain's controls.
Yeah.
But they weren't, like, they just didn't dive into it. And, like, man, just given the stuff that I've seen in the news, floating around online about, like, how contentious that continues to be.
Right.
That, I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't ask.